This week I lost over $4,000 trading on FTMO. I didn't touch my true 100k funded accounts because price action was really bad, so I traded on my FTMO challenge. But before I show you all of my trades, if you're not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I want to reach 100 subscribers before the end of the year. And now, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with gold. As you can see, this is the price action at the beginning of the week, and I thought the price action was actually bullish. I identified this 4-hour fair value gap, and I expected price to retest it before resuming higher. So as you can see, price action did in fact test this 4-hour fair value gap, and right after, at the beginning of the London Open, it also inverted this fair value gap. So once we have this inversion fair value gap on the 50-minute time frame, I entered as soon as price retested it. Unfortunately though, price action didn't go in my favor, so I got stopped out for $1,000 loss. On the 4-hour, price action looked like this. Honestly, at this point I didn't know what to expect because yes, I was bullish going into Monday price action, but I remember from previous week the short that I opened right here after the engulfing candle inside of the 4-hour fair value gap. I thought that maybe this would be the same scenario. Also because the swing high was taken and we were still inside this fair value gap. I'm telling you this because right after I got stopped out, price did in fact form a new setup, and this setup would have gone well, but unfortunately I didn't open it. What I ended up doing is going into silver because at that moment it was weaker than gold, and I decided to open a short. As you can see, I entered here at the close of the candle. But not only that, because on the 1-hour time frame, I saw that price created this fair value gap and price went inside of it immediately. So I thought that maybe there would be a setup on the 50-minute time frame. And that was exactly the case because as you can see, here it formed an engulfing candle. So I decided to enter short right here. So I didn't get the perfect entry, but as you will see, it won't matter because right after I entered, price went down for a little bit, but then reversed and I got stopped out. Both on this trade, on which I decided to only risk half of my usual position, so $500, because I was already on this trade for $1,000, so I didn't want to over risk in the same trade idea. And that was actually a smart move because as you can see, price ended up stopping me out also on this trade. So a total combined loss of $1,500. Honestly, in these market conditions, it's really hard to trade metals because I was expecting price to be bullish, but then I got confused because higher time frame bias is not clear at the moment. Of course, the environment is still bullish for metals, but price action sometimes indicates that price wants to go lower. So I have this conflict, and this is one of the reasons why I didn't open any trade of my funded accounts, because right now I know that conditions aren't ideal for how I trade personally. So I decided to only trade on my challenge and try to open trades regardless of the outcomes. And now let's move to Forex because I opened many trades on Forex this week, and the first one was on Euro-Dollar, always on Monday. As you can see, this black line is the previous year high, which got taken at the beginning of the year. And I'll be honest, on Monday I was kinda tilted because I lost those trades on gold and silver. So I decided to make a brilliant move and I tried to pick the top of the day on Euro-Dollar. So what I ended up doing is entering right here for no particular reason. Yes, there was this fair value gap and it was the end of New York session, and the reason for the short idea was because the previous yearly high was retested again. So I'm aware that it was more of a gamble than something else, but as I said, in this challenge I don't really care. I will open trades that I don't usually open, and that's okay for me. At least it's some content for you guys. Of course, price did stop me out, so I lost $500 on this trade because I know it was a shitty trade, so I risked less. And that leads us to Wednesday on USD CAD because after NFP, as you can see, price did retest this daily fair value gap. And on the 4-hour, I saw that price touched this fair value gap and also this fair value gap. So even if no real setup occurred, I decided to go short, just like that. Okay, so my target was this old swing low, and I entered right here like this. So price did not go in my direction and stopped me out almost immediately, like the day after. But right before I got stopped out on the USD CAD trade, I saw that also USD CHF entered on the same fair value gap on the daily, but price action on the 4-hour was different. As you can see, price did create an engulfing candle, so I decided to enter short, and this time I entered my funded swing account. But this time I was cautious because, as you can see, I decided to close the trade right here for a really small loss because I understood that price action didn't want to go in my favor. And right at this time is when USD CAD stopped me out. As you can see, at the end of the week, I would be slightly in profit. But honestly, guys, I don't regret it because as you can see here on Friday, there was CPI and I didn't know how price action would have reacted and I didn't want to risk on my funded account, so I preferred to close for a small loss rather than risking to lose everything, especially right now that Forex really isn't moving. Always on Thursday, I opened another trade, this time on GBP USD on the daily time frame. This is the idea. So there was this fair value gap and this inversion fair value gap, so a BPR, and price took these highs and then made an engulfing candle. At the time, I just got stopped out on USD CAD, so I decided to try and open this trade, okay, short. But honestly, guys, at this point of the week, I wasn't tilt, but the thing is, I was conflicted because on one side, I wanted to try and open trades regardless of the outcome, as I said, because it's just a challenge. But on the other side, I was like, yes, but maybe I could wait a little bit and maybe open some more decent trades. So I was constantly thinking about, well, should I close this trade? Should I keep it open? And as you can see, the next morning, I decided to close my trade at break even. Honestly, I didn't like this reaction going into CPI, so I decided to close it. And right now, at the end of the week, this is where it would be. Honestly, I don't like it. It's likely to reach up here, so I think it was a good decision to close it at break even. And finally, we get to Friday with the last two trades of the week. So Friday morning, I see AUD/USD retracing into this daily fair value gap, and on the hourly, I see this strong reaction. Now, CPI was still due, and honestly, I was in gambling mode, so I decided to open a long right here, even though there was this EMA and it just touched it, so it was actually 50-50. And after a couple of hours, I decided to close my trade for a small loss again, right about here, because I understood it wasn't the case to hold on to this trade. And honestly, guys, remember there was CPI. I didn't want to get slipped. In the end, I would almost get stopped out, and yeah, price just reversed. Like, I don't know how this is possible actually, but yeah, at the end of the week I would be almost at break even. But honestly, I don't regret managing this trade this way. This wasn't a real trade, like I shouldn't have opened this trade at all. But as I said, this week on the challenge, I don't care. And finally, for the last trade of the week, Euro dollar again. This time was Friday at the end of New York Open. The idea was that price was inside this fair value gap on the daily time frame. It retested this inversion fair value gap and this volume imbalance, so I expect price to go higher. On the 4-hour, he engulfed this candle, so I thought that maybe it could have been a great opportunity to go long. But it took me quite some time to decide to open this trade, so I ended up entering right at the last 4-hour candle of the day, right here as you can see, and price started to retrace, which is strange because this is the price action on the 1 hour on euro dollar, and this is the price action on GBP USD. As you can see, the British pound is obviously stronger than euro dollar, and to me this is also another trade 50-50, because it could either take this low and then consolidate and then go higher, or it could stop me out and then go higher, or maybe it will go higher immediately and then reverse and stop me out. So I don't really know how I feel about this trade. When I'll see the opening on Sunday, I will decide whether I wanna keep this trade open or not. Going to next week, honestly, I expect DXY to go lower. I think that this daily opening gap is a target, which is right below this swing low. And after that, I don't know, because it could either retrace higher and, I don't know, go taking this swing high and then maybe consolidate again, or it could just retrace again and continue to get this swing low. Reality is that I'm not too sure because, guys, price action on Forex this week was really bad. We just had 1 day of price action and the rest was shit. So remember to be careful trading next week Forex because price action is actually consolidating pretty hard. We are still inside the daily range of the NFP on Wednesday, and until either one of the extremity of the range is taken, I don't think price action will be good. But that's it for this week. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.